Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Jug Show! Today, we've gotten some more information about the upcoming the event. Is it the summer event? I'm only asking this because I'm on the other side of the hemisphere, so it's the summer event, isn't it? Not the winter event, I don't know. Anyway, point is, Avengers Armageddon. We've gotten some more information about it, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Especially because of the fact I did make a video on it previously, talking about what we had when it was very, very obscure. Pretty much only having this one guy, and he's just got a cape on, and it seemed like it was talking about being Marvel Superman, but we don't know that. So, the point is, we're going to be talking about a bit more of what we got, because we have some letterless previews and some synopsises, as well as some covers. So, we're going to be going into that. Yeah, not wasting any time. Just going to go straight dive into it. So, from what it looks like, it is going to be a team-up type of thing. But my biggest question is, how is this going to be so big that it's going to affect... Like, they're using Armageddon to reset the Imperial line. When Hickman came in, did his whole big Imperial event, and that led off to more comics, including the Current Nova. We just had Intergalactic Black Panther. All they started from Hickman's Imperial, and now it looks like Armageddon is going to be resetting that. But given the fact that it's run by Thaddeus Ross on Earth completely, I don't understand how this is going to affect the actual interstellar aspect. So that's definitely a bit of a confusing part of it. So looking also at these preview images here, using the idea of reset, this is actually very familiar. This almost looks exactly like what Doom was doing during the One World Under Doom, when in the Fantastic Four comics, when they discovered he had a reset device. So the fact he's using resets, and also this is actually kind of a bit of a, it furrows the eyebrows, really. It makes you wonder. I mean, he's repeating something that happened literally just in the last event. So that just makes you wonder. So in a way, it also maybe makes sense if we're going the route I think we're going, because the fact is, Avengers Armageddon is connected to Dungeons of Doom, so it's got all the things that Doom had, like he's collected and he's sealed away to keep safe. They might find some version of the device that he made that created the resets. So, looking at these letterless previews, we definitely have this idea of him taking over the world. We're doing, like I said, we're doing something similar to One World Under Doom. We got the Thaddeus, and he's doing his whole... He's like Doom, he looks like he's taking over the world. Look, the fact is, he's spreading American imperialism. This guy thinks he's all that. Ugh, American patriots, what are you going to do? So, we see him losing every now and again, but then we see reset. So it is possible that he might have a similar device. A difference between what happened between him and Doom is that it looks like he's able to use the device continuously all up until the point where he's actually, he's managed to keep his device safe, he's managed to keep his weight going, to the point he ended up so old and looking like Dr. Eggman. I mean, come on, look at him. Look at him. That's Eggman. Look at the mustache. Look at it. Then look at this. Now back. Now we got Eggman. Now we got the Ross. Eggman again. Ross again. They're the same guy. So maybe that's what's going to happen. We need a blue hedgehog to stop Thaddeus Ross. I'm sorry. That was the only thought that was in my head when I was looking at this preview. That this guy looks so much like Eggman because of that mustache. So anyway, okay, back to seriousness. So that does look like its simple premise. That he's not only going to win, but he's going to win by doing the things again and again and again. But we just saw this in the last event with One World Under Doom. So it's a bit odd that Zdarsky is actually trying to do the same thing. Granted, the device wasn't really the big thing in the actual event. It was part of the side event. That was always something that weirded me out. I don't understand why it happened like that. I feel like someone needs to talk with North about that, but yeah, that's the whole point. So yeah, we're also looking at these particular covers, these particular variant covers. He is definitely working his Spider-Man angle. It looks like that he's really wanting to focus on Spider-Man and Wolverine. Don't ask me why. Honestly, I feel like if you use those two, it's kind of a bit of a symbol of a lack of imagination or variety, because these are the two. They're not even really as popular. They're more because every Marvel character is somebody's favorite, and I feel like there are ones that are actually a lot more popular than Spider-Man and Wolverine, but they're the ones that are just like the faces. They're the ones that Marvel puts out there the most. So he's definitely really working the Spider-Man and Wolverine deal. And I think that might actually be, I feel like that's the wrong direction, because the fact is, when seeing how he's got control of the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, he's got an opportunity to use not only lesser known characters, but characters that could actually help bump up like a sense of variety, a sense of mystery. Because the fact is, if you use a lesser known character, it actually creates a sense of intrigue. But if you use characters like Spider-Man or Wolverine, you're kind of like, well, it's another Spider-Man or Wolverine, so let's see how we go with that. And even using the terminology is a great responsibility and great power and all that when it comes to Spider-Man's taglines, it really does just feel like he's kind of putting Marvel type of deal. It's not classic. It's cliche. It feels a bit cliche Marvel, if anything. Though I do admit, I've always been a fan of this particular kind of art style. The idea of minimalist and silhouette type of deals, so just 3 colors to create a full-on poster. I've always loved that type of art style. One of the things I also think is probably going to work against him is the fact that, look at the synopsis here. He literally goes, calling in the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and Wolverine. He's not even doing X-Men. He has the Avengers coming in, and he has the Fantastic Four coming in, and then just Wolverine. Despite the fact that the current X-Men line, the most popular right now, is actually Storm's line. It's constantly getting massive boosts in sales. Everyone's really enjoying it, and everyone's talking about it. But not even just, not saying X-Men. I don't even know if the X-Men are going to be in it, especially because he says "and more." But the fact is, he goes team, and then this particular individual. Why? The fact is, this actually, from what I've been talking with people, this book, despite all the work that's going into it, especially with its pre-stories, with One World Under Doom, not One World Under Doom, actually, no, Will of Doom, though. Will of Doom definitely is one to think about. So maybe Valeria is going to have something to do with this, given how that book ended. That's a maybe. I have no idea, because she hasn't been teased. The Fantastic Four have been teased, but I don't think he's going to use that. The thing is, I think I actually need to remember about this particular story when it comes to Chip, is that I don't think this is going to be the pinnacle of what he has planned. I think this is just going to be the setup to the next stage of what Marvel's going to be doing, like the next phase of their big stories. So, kind of like House of X and Powers of 10, when Hickman took over the X-Men line. He did those particular stories. He did those 12 issues, 6 per line, and which led to the new new status quo of the mutants on the island of Krakoa. I don't think he's going to shift everything that much. He's not going to be like we could actually end up calling it the Armageddon era. That would actually be, who knows? I don't think so. I'm also failing to see how it could actually lead to an Armageddon, an end of the world. that could also just actually be that could actually be okay marketing. They're not letting out too many of the secrets. Granted, we could also just keep reading what's happening in Dungeons of Doom, then we could actually get a better idea. I mean, if you recall my last video talking about the Fantastic Four and how marketing was actually not done very well when it came to creating intrigue for the Invincible Woman, we could be doing the opposite of that. That we are doing not as much, and they're trying to create intrigue, but the fact is, some of the choices of characters, some of the things they're putting out there, isn't really creating intrigue. Now, in saying that, I wouldn't say I'm Zdarsky's biggest fan, right? There are some things he does that I honestly am not a fan of. But I will say that sometimes there are things he does do that does actually really either interest me or I think is really cool. For example, I think he's actually great when it comes to working street level characters. Like I was a fan of his Daredevil run, especially with how he writes Spider-Man. I might have been dissing about using Spider-Man, but I think that his Spider-Man is a very well done character. I think he should I see people saying that he should be on the next Fantastic Four, and I think he should be on the next Spider-Man run. Because, like I said, I think he does street characters very well. I think he did the prison moments in Dark Reign very well. Like, honestly, Devil's Reign, not Dark Reign. I think his Devil's Reign was actually peak Zdarsky. That was a great event, a great set of events. I remember thinking that there could have been something a bit more they could have done with it, but honestly, right now, thinking about it, I don't know what it was. In fact, that could have just been in the moment thinking. Or it could have just been all the things that came after. Like, honestly, when it came to his Devil's Reign and what came after, there was a lot people could have done with what came after, like the Luke Cage is now mayor. How have we not done anything that big on that? As well as the fact he's adopted a Kilgrave kid. The Cage Jones family needs their own book. I'm saying that, and that's not on a... Anyway, continuing my point. So, we're also getting these colorless and textless previews. These ones are actually creating a bit more intrigue, I guess, in a way, because we're seeing a little bit more of what's about to happen. But at the same time, I'm more just looking at the artist, the penciler. Who do we have as the penciler? Delio Diaz and Frank Alpiza. I don't know which one's doing these particular pages, but I have to admit this is actually very brilliant. This is very this is designed this artist is definitely good when it comes to creating creating like a spectacle, like the shadings, the rendering of it all is actually very gorgeously done. So if there's one thing I can't criticize about this book is how it looks, because this is looking absolutely brilliant. So the fact is, we already know that the artists are definitely up to snuff, but is Zdarsky up to snuff? So yeah, we're all going to go up to Zdarsky on this. But okay. Zdarsky could actually possibly surprise us, but I can't see it. What the trick is... Well, not the trick. What I'm struggling to see, like I said before, is how is this going to have such global ramifications across Marvel? This is Thaddeus Ross. This guy is all about, of the US. So, on Earth, maybe, but across the Marvel cosmos, I don't see him being very interested in what's out there. As far as I can imagine, is he probably would just go take Mars, because, he might view the Iraqi as a threat to US sovereignty. That's about it. One of the other things that's bothering me a little bit about this book is simply the almost statement that's being made with this, especially with the connections that we're getting with a Captain America book, because this is heavily connected to Chip Zdarsky's current Captain America book. And quite honestly, I think there are massive rooms for improvement in that book, including the seemingly political statement that he's making, but giving the political climate of today, of what day is it? Sunday 22. Fuck it. Given the political climate of today in 2026, I really think with what Captain America in his book is trying to do, is still hold up this belief of a proper American soul alongside that. But I don't think the way he's doing that is the best way to do it, given what's happening currently in the US and how people are actually fighting and their opinions of the current administration. So whether or not he's able to write that because of how people above him might view it, or how marketing might view it, and all those type of fashions, the point is, the story that it seems like he's telling is that when it comes to it, is that Americans can help shape the better future of the rest of the planet. But the fact is, if you look at how America has affected a lot of different nations over the years, there hasn't been much positivity in it. So I feel like him still trying to use the Captain America, it feels more propaganda-ish than, say, what we had in the last arc, the last run, written by J. Michael Straczynski. That felt more like the difference between what I'm getting with Straczynski and Zdarsky is that when Straczynski was telling it, that felt like a person really starting to see what his country is becoming, or what his country really is. Whereas, because he didn't hide, because Straczynski, he didn't hide from the fact that there are very bad people that act with impunity in the US. And I'm not saying that Australia is any better. I've seen, oh man, I'm not even trying to, I've seen some really bad things in my nation. And I can't list them right now because I'm going to get very angry, and I don't want to get into that anyway. But the point what Zdarsky seems to be trying to make is, he's still trying to go off the idea that America helps people. Well, I can believe that Americans go out wanting to help people, but the idea of the administration, the idea of grander things, like this would be better more of if Cap was more of Nomad, if he was instead of a US type of deal, like Shield, what Nick Fury's doing is definitely more independent. So it's the idea of these individuals wanting to help people, because that seems more actual to me. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem I'm having with his story in Captain America, and how that can translate into Avengers Armageddon, especially when we have another Captain America in that book with Sam Wilson. We also have Captain Marvel, very military history characters. So that's a little bit of a worry, in my opinion. But again, the guy could surprise me. But like I said, I feel like his best work is when he's at the street level characters. I think that would be great. Like I said, I hope Zdarsky gets his hands on Spider-Man next. That would be very good. Well, I hope it would be very good. Anyway, so we've gotten a little bit more information. So it's going to focus on the F4. It's going to focus on the Avengers and Wolverine. At that point, you might as well just say Avengers. But the point is, we still don't know a lot, but we know how big it's going to affect everything. We do know that Thaddeus seems like he's going to win. So, and it looks like it might also... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the fact that Thaddeus seems to finally have gotten what he's always wanted, using the Hulks as weapons, because it looks like he's got his own hulking army. So that's actually, if you ask me, that's actually a clever thing to do. That is definitely a clever Zdarsky thing to do, in my opinion. That's what happens if Thaddeus Ross has always gotten what he's wanted. Doesn't look good, does it? So I do see that he's making a criticism on American military imperialism. I just feel like he could probably go a few steps further. So that is actually good. The thing is, Armageddon is still a bit on the confusing side, and I don't see how it's going to be very different to previous Marvel events. It really does feel like Marvel is just resetting everything again to try something else again. I can only hope that what it's going to be is something a bit more interesting, with using cooler characters, maybe like ones we haven't seen in a while. I'm still waiting to get Sam Alexander back. I wouldn't mind a Return of the Champions. Want to see how this new status quo can affect characters that we like, what kind of new books we could be getting. So the fact is, it could be something cool, it could be something interesting, or it's definitely, I'm going to put it at a 60-40, the idea that this could actually be good or bad. It's like, not bad, but like, I'm going to say generic. Like, I've seen Zdarsky have some really interesting and good ideas. I just don't think this is going to be one of the interesting ones. That's all I'm saying. So, I'm hoping for the best for him. I'm hoping this is going to be okay. I'm hoping this might be cool and I might be just a little bit on the wrong side. I'm still liking the image of Thaddeus Ross looking like Eggman. Or, well, Regman. Red Eggman. I'm enjoying that. That's literally what I'm enjoying most so far. I mean, look at it! And then look at Eggman. Look at him. Now Eggman again. Okay, then we're going to stop doing that now. Okay. So anyway, leave in the comments section below what you think is going to be happening in Avengers Armageddon, how it could possibly affect the Marvel Cosmos to the point where it actually is now on the final page of Black Panther's Intergalactic Black Panther. And leave in the comments any other ideas that you might have about Avengers Armageddon, as well as what you think of the video. Leave a like and subscribe. So now wrapping up, I hope you guys have had just as much fun as I did talking comics. I'll see you guys later.